Welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegla, buddy. We got a Wednesday night. We got the Braves playing.
We got the Braves playing. We've got some Fun Belt action down at App State, down in Boone.
Yes,
watching
sir.
Jamie Chadwell at Coastal Carolina closely here tonight. One of those.
Why would you be doing that, Curtis?
Just keeping an eye on things. You know good and well why I'm doing it. As I will be attempting to do with other coaches and coordinators in the upcoming weeks. But good. You told me class didn't last as long tonight, Brian?
No, a little short one tonight. Nothing too big. We're in full on group project mode now. So, yeah.
Fun stuff, right?
Full steam ahead. Yeah, it's just kind of a check in and see how everything's going type deal. So, nothing too big tonight.
Very nice, very nice. Midweek here on a Wednesday on a hump day. We head to the back end of the weekend, and Brian, we've been sitting here kind of talking and talking about those vacancies. And I tell you what, we've got a bunch of head coaching vacancies already, of some blue bloods. Some other lower level jobs or lower P5 jobs, and probably some potential. But, we started talking about it, and you look at USC firing Clay Helton.
They were in early.
They were in really early.
Yeah.
That sounded like one of those things. The second he loses a game, we're firing him. And then Ed Orgeron, who pulls off the big upset in Death Valley of Florida Saturday night.
Yeah, but it does sound like this was arranged well before that big win for them. And it may have been one of those things where, he knew the era was over, coached a little more loose. That team looked probably as good as they've looked this whole year so far. So good for them. But, Coach O out after this year, they mutually agreed to part ways. There's, been whispers of female companions participating in practice.
Female companions, kids participate. That is going to be whoever writes that book is going to make a lot of money just to know everything about Coach O and what happened there.
And I'm not knocking Coach O. I love him not being my coach, but I don't think he's a fit at Virginia Tech, mainly because several reasons, and some of it has to do with what we just talked about. But I know he won a national championship, but if you are still having trouble putting the pieces together with the resources and facilities that LSU puts at your disposal, then Virginia Tech probably not for you.
Not for you at all. Not for you at all. But now the other one is Wazoo. Nick Rolovich got fired due to state back. That is going to be a freaking story to follow because he is now suing the school.
Yeah, it's going to go. And the stuff at Tennessee is starting. I mean, I know that that's not a vacancy, but the stuff that Pruitt's put a lawsuit out there against the university for the full compliments of the buyout and other damages. So it could get really ugly there. And
so hold on. I thought he got fired straight up, and they just had to take the buyout. They attempted not to pay the buyout?
That's my understanding. I probably need to read the article again just to get a better understanding. But that was my understanding, is that I guess because of the sanctions, that'd be my guess, is they were trying to essentially
they're trying to not pay the man.
Yeah,
even though
fired with cause. With cause. So
he's going to just come out and be like, yeah, the AD knew all about this. Phil Fulmer knew all about us paying off players. And then it'd be like, we might need to kill this program. But
bags.
All right, so let's also talk about potentially Miami and FSU. Diaz is on the absolute hottest of hot seats. I mean,
yeah, Diaz's seat is as hot or hotter than Fuentes, and we know Fuentes is on fire. So
Fuentes is on fire. Diaz's is engulfed.
Yeah.
I mean, engulfed. Like, it's all up and down. And, I told you earlier today, Brian, Miami they can't find the right guy. And the thing is, what I don't think people understand about when they were winning, Coker had nothing to do with them winning. That team was so talented. Anyone could have walked in there that you had to coach simple drills and they would have won. It's as simple as that. And you saw as Butch's talent level went off, as did Coker. But Butch was a hard-nosed coach. Dennis Erickson was a hard-nosed coach. Jimmy Johnson and Howard Schellenberger were super hard-nosed coaches.
Yep.
Those were guys who commanded the locker room. And since basically, I guess you can say Butch left, they haven't had anybody like that. And they were like, well, we brought back, Randy Shannon played on the team, right? Randy played on the team, Manny. But the whole thing is you literally have to, in some ways, you have to break that locker room, break it. And App State just took something to the house. So Chadwell's down. Got him coach defense. Don't want him. But you if you look at those coaches and what they brought in since then, none of them have that. None of them have that mentality of like, I am the boss here. Inside here, we do as I say. I don't care what you do out there. And I don't think Miami is a program that can get back to where it was without a guy like that. And they keep going for culture fits, and it would not shock me one bit if they fired Manny Diaz and they hired Ed Reed. It wouldn't shock me one iota.
Yeah. And that's because what is he right now? Defensive consultant for them?
No. He is he's the general manager. He is the head of player personnel. Okay.
So I knew he had some role on the team right now. I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, the director of player personnel, which is in college nowadays, that is a pretty big role. It's becoming more and more of a role, but I could see them doing that. Now could Ed, who was one of the boys, become Ed, the guy who cracks down on things? Maybe because Ed is that type of player, that could potentially happen. The other one you brought up, which I shook my head at no, when you told me FSU.
FSU, and if they can pay the buyout, then I think they take a chance on it. Now, can they pay a buyout after still essentially paying Willie Taggart money? That's the question. But and do you hit the reset button on something after 2 years after you just hit the reset button, essentially after one full season of the previous tenured coach? So FSU is going to be the interesting one to watch, just because they're used to winning and they're not, but they've already dug themselves a hole because of how fast they moved on from Taggart.
They dug themselves a deep hole financially with Taggart. But I think what they're digging themselves into a deeper hole with is not giving guys time. And eventually, y'all just keep hitting the ball. Eventually, we're going to give 2 years. 2 years. Like, you can't rebuild a program in 2 years. You can't. I don't care if you have talent there. If you're trying to implement stuff, very, very seldom do you come in that something's a dumpster fire, get the fire put out, and start rolling again. You just don't.
Yeah, and I mean, you're still dealing with one of those seasons being a COVID season too, which, I mean, everyone was dealing with, but that definitely puts you behind in terms of development.
Well, development and installation, right? Yeah. I mean, Norvell had no time to input the offense or the defense he wanted to run. But I say it more to this. Brian, if you were a G5, you're Billy Napier, you're Jamie Chadwell, and FSU comes knocking on your door, hey, come on down here, man. Would you not stop for pause and say, dude, you're giving people a year and a half or 2 years?
Yeah, you're not definitely too quick of a hook for a coach that doesn't see your program as a stepping stone. Now,
Exactly.
if they see your program as a stepping stone, then by all means, it's still an attractive gig. But if they want their next gig to be, you know, a potential decade run at least, then
half decade run. I mean, 5 years, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're not looking at FSU.
not looking at FSU at all. So everybody's asking, why the hell are you guys talking about this? Well, because there's going to be fallout. Because again, our minds are where they are. The season is over. This era is over. The Fuente tenure is over. And you've got to look at essentially who could be, where's the fallout. So let's play the role game, Brian, because this is how we're going to figure it out. All right, first of all, I honest to God think there's no way James Franklin doesn't go to USC.
Yeah, that's more than likely happening.
That's going to happen.
So you're talking about, and here's where the couple things that the vacancies themselves don't necessarily hurt us, but who's filling the vacancies could hurt us.
Yep, exactly.
And so now Penn State, in our more or less geographic region, is now looking for a new head coach, and program-wise, they're about a step above us.
They're a step above us.
In terms of being an attractive program.
Yeah, attractive program, money. But I think with who they are, I think they have the potential. I think our top end guys would be on their radar. That's my truth. All right. So start thinking of all your names that you can throw out there: Billy Napier, Jamie Chadwell, Dan Lanning. List goes on and on and on and on. But now let's look at LSU. The LSU job, which just won a national title 2 years ago, a little different. I think most people, because you think he took over in what, 16, right?
Yeah.
He was there 5 years. He had good success. The last few seasons have been rough based on the other stories that are coming out. That's why he was like, if he was still winning between 8 and 10 games this year without the shenanigans, I don't think they fire Ed Orgeron. I just don't. I think maybe next year. But if LSU goes, where are they going to? You know,
I think they're looking at old Sparty.
Mel Tucker. Now, if Tucker goes, and Tucker coached down there in the early 2000s, if Mel Tucker goes, now Michigan State to me is a program exactly like us. Similar blue collar, similar type portfolio. I'll say that, portfolio. About the same level. People, you would say we're probably more attractive because of where we play. They play in the Big Ten East with Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan. But they've still been able to win a conference title and go to the playoffs from there. But it's also that point too where, if you think of somebody like, would a Marcus Freeman or a Luke Fickell take that job at Sparty? Being Ohio State guys, would they go in conference to play their alma mater every year? I don't think Freeman does. Or excuse me, I don't think Fickell does. I think Fickell, where they are with Cincinnati right now and how the Big 12 is reshaped, I think they are where they are.
I think Fickell is going to hold until he can get the job he absolutely 100% wants at a blue blood school, potentially his alma mater.
Again,
with Cincy moving to the Big 12, that kind of creates a situation where he's not in a second tier conference anymore.
Nope.
If he gets the wins he needs to get every year, he will be playing for a college football playoff. Yeah. So
exactly.
That takes him out of that having to essentially be perfect category.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be enough for him to kind of move on with that with that situation.
Yeah, and then you start thinking about Miami and FSU. They're still higher than us. Miami can pay more clearly. FSU more clout. But then what you mentioned, what you said earlier was, what'd you say? You talked about the way those programs are viewed. They start seeping into potential our coaching pool, right?
Yeah, yeah. If those come open, and it's not just the conference thing, but it's definitely because of the recruiting footprint and everything else. They're going to be looking at similar tiered candidates to who we're looking at. Their top guy might be someone that's out of our range, but their number two choice is probably our number one or somewhere in that ballpark. So that's going to be interesting to see how that shapes out and whether both of those come open. But I mean, in the pecking order here, we're at least going to be probably fourth on the totem pole, right?
Yep.
If that's the way Witt decides to go at the end of the season, in which we think that's what should happen. So, yeah, we think that's what should happen.
What's going to tell the story, and what Witt Bobcott's going to look at is what the stadium's going to look like Saturday.
Yeah,
it was 56 or 57 last Saturday. It looked good, but if it starts getting under 50, and it could very well do that, and it starts looking very scarce, he's got to look longer term. That's why we were advocating last year, like, you have to look longer term. Because right now, if we were 3-3 with a brand new coach and we were a field goal away from beating Notre Dame and one possession away from beating West Virginia on the road, regardless what happens in the Pitt game, people are like, we're on the right track. They just had a great game against us. That's what he's saying, right? Right?
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know some of this was a little bit of conservative move heading into a big funding push.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's nothing that buoys a big funding push like the honeymoon effect of a new coach.
Damn right.
So
right. That's the honest truth.
Everyone will still have hope, and that's what's lacking from, I think, overall the fan base right now, is that there's still some hope, but I think people are done. They don't have confidence in that hope anymore.
Nope.
There's zero confidence. And you bring a new guy in, you get a little bit more confidence, and people are looser with their dollars when they feel like there's a chance that it pays some dividends for them.
Absolutely. So in the oncoming week, folks, I'm sure we'll be probably talking more about some of the potential candidates. Obviously, someone like Wazoo, you know what? If I were them, honest to God truth, if they could hire Justin Fuente and just say, leave the Cornelison guy on your flight over somewhere. In the flyover. He's from Missouri, right? Kansas or Missouri. Just touchdown in St. Louis and be like, great knowing you. I'm going to go up to Pullman.
It's been real. It's been fun. Hadn't been real fun.
Exactly. All right, some Hokie notes here, Brian. Let's talk about the booze at the intro. Thanks to some boots on the ground and some re-listening to the videotape. Literally, they waited. Head coach Justin Fuente.
Boo.
And then
that wasn't the only time that he was booed in that game, because once the offense started to struggle mightily in the first half, they were raining down again. And at some point, when your boos don't get responses, you go home, and that's what happened at halftime.
That is what happened at halftime. And it got the end of the one that was taken about 6 or 7 minutes before the end of the game. That was really ugly. I don't think I've ever seen Lane that thin. In a game. Now we sit here and he was asked the question, right? He was asked the question and he answered it. He answered it correctly. It's part of the job. You get criticized. You just have to deal with it. Don't you wish you would have gave a Brett Bielema answer though? You did hear about that, right?
I did.
Oh my God.
I did. Yeah.
Hey, Brett, you got. Hey, Brian, you're Brett Bielema. Coach, the boos were coming down pretty hard. What'd you think about that?
Fuck those guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm rich. Screw you. Don't come here again. What? I mean, I can just see, it is a part of football. At least he said it that way and not some douchey answer. But I think it will continue on Saturday. When he comes out, if the offense struggles, heck, I even think he could get booed if we win. We won, yay! Boo!
Unless we go out there and handle our business for 4 quarters, there's no way that there's not more boos coming out this Saturday.
That's a catch. What a catch by that kid!
Yeah, it's
right.
It's been a rough go, man. It's been a rough go.
It has been. Other news and notes from the Hokies: Peter Moore, the freshman, is a midseason freshman All-American. Congrats, Peter.
Is he still working on his throwing arm?
I hope he is, because we're going to need at least one fake pass to win some. Win at least 1 to 2 more.
Yeah, he's got to get a little bit more juice on the next one.
Yeah, you can't do that. No, I don't think he'll be passing anymore. But on the other hand, we might do something crazy.
You still want to have that in your back pocket.
It is. Good for him. But legitimately, I can say this. If Peter Moore was a bad punter, the season would be worse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, field position has been huge.
It's been huge to win. So
if we could just – I mean, I know we haven't turned the ball over a lot, but if we could stop, giving that one turnover a game and giving the other offense a short field, I mean,
yeah,
we'd be averaging about, 3 to 6 points less surrendered on defense, and that's probably an extra win or two. So
exactly.
Peter Moore, field position, making the other offense drive the field. It's worked in our favor so far. So keep it up, bud.
Keep it up. Good job. Peter. All right. News about Devin Hunter and Dean Ferguson. Dean, obviously, I do not recall seeing. I knew Keyshawn was out there. Devin obviously hurt during the game, both out for the year. Definitely hurts depth at positions where we're okay. I think it hurts the linebacker room a little bit more. I think Dean's kind of looking like that next guy.
Yeah.
But now Keyshawn's going to get the rotations. And Keyshawn, to me, he made some errors Saturday. But overall, for his half, he played solid.
Yeah, I've got no big-time notes. There were a couple times where the defense looked like they weren't quite aligned, and that was probably the area that he was going to be the most uncomfortable with, just because that does take reps and just being out there consistently doing. It's hard to get the mental reps of making those calls and getting everybody and seeing everything in real time, because say what you will, you can practice it, but if you don't, sometimes seeing the other team do it, it feels different. You just got to get a feel for it. So that's one thing. I mean, obviously, Devin Hunter, we thought he was going to play a little bit more of a role in the rotation at safety. Hasn't really been that. Been primarily a special teams player.
Still a hell of a story.
Hell of a story. The fact that he's even on this team and making any impact was a big story. So.
Yeah.
Sad to see him go down with the injury on a special team snap this past week. So,
yeah.
Best of luck to them healing up.
Yeah,
but on to the next.
On to the next. Well, the next, Brian, is Sunday night.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big
Colts
game
Niners
on our podcast. Colts Niners. One of the teams will be at 3 wins. You guys will likely get Jimmy G or potentially Nate Sudfeld. Yikes. I have the Colts defense in fantasy. I'm not benching them. They're playing benching them. But I don't know. I don't feel good about the way everything's been handled, the way Brandon Ayuk's been handled, the way the whole quarterback situation has been handled. I really think y'all are probably going to win the game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, we're definitely trending in the right direction the last few weeks. Even taking the loss to Baltimore, we showed.
Could have won that game. Could have won that game.
I know. But showing fight and showing that, we could take care and run with pretty much anybody in the league.
Yeah.
Few snaps in a couple games, and we're 4-2 instead of 2-4. So,
Well, and I'm the same way with us. We're 2-3, and we've lost the last 3 weeks by 3, 7, and 7, and we've lost to Aaron, Russell, and Kyler.
yep.
And we kept Kyler under 20 points. We are the only team to do that this year. So, and literally with Rodgers, we were here that Sunday night with an episode. Literally, we scored with 40 seconds left, and 40 seconds was just too much time, and we couldn't stop it.
Yep.
We've lost by a combined 17 points to the best team in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and another of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
Well, what can we do?
And we're kind of in the same boat. I mean, we lost to Russell, we lost to the Rams, and then we had a singular fourth quarter takeover by Lamar Jackson to throw us another L, and then just a grind fest that we came up short on against Tennessee.
Yeah, and y'all also have been battling injuries. Everybody's battling injuries, but with your quarterback banged and your All-Pro guard banged, a little different.
Defense was a little banged up. I think we're finally getting a little healthy, and I think a lot of guys have settled in. We get Ty back. That was a kind of a lift this past week. So I think it's going to be a good game regardless. Probably I would go. I don't know what the over under is, but I'd probably take the under in this one just because I think it's going to be more defensive than I think people think.
Oh yeah, it's definitely two top 10 defenses without a doubt, and the over under in that game for Saturday is 44. So I think they've actually got that pegged.
That's about right, yeah.
Right, and it's y'all are the 4-point favorite, or actually, we're laying the 4.
Okay,
they are giving us home 2 +2. Somebody else get hurt you don't know about, or is Carson limping around that you don't know?
No, not that I know of. I know Ty is he had a little bit of a quad. I mean, at the end of the game, but they said he's good to go for the game. So,
interesting. All right, Brian. Before we get into reviewing the Syracuse offense and defense and knowing the enemy, we are going to take a quick pause for a message from our digital partners.
As we take a quick break, we'd like to tell you about getting your free website report from our digital partner, Grassroots Digital Marketing Studio. They'll tell you how your website ranks on Google, on-site SEO, and social media. No commitment to buy anything. You can get your free report by visiting grassrootsdigitalstudio.com/free-website-report. Now back to the episode.
All right, guys. So know the enemy. We're going to take a look first at Syracuse's offense. And Brian, you've kind of noted to me this is a power smash small spread, heavy read option, and we see it. So we're going to kick it off with the offensive line. That offense is averaging 231 yards a game. They've only given up 24 tackles for loss, 38th in the nation, only 103 yards on that. So just at 4 yards, which usually for tackle for loss, that's unbelievable. It's really good just, again, how much they run. They've only given up 15 sacks. Now, I will say this. They've only passed the ball 175 times, so they are giving up sacks about 15% of their dropbacks, maybe a little something to take an eye on. But what are you seeing from this offensive line? Because I wish we were running for 231 yards a game. I think we wouldn't have lost a game yet.
Yeah, the big thing, like you've already noted there, but they really don't have a lot of negative plays on the offensive side of the ball. They work well as a unit, and they do a really good job of minimizing penetration in the backfield. There's no real standout player per se, but there's just a bunch of really good, solid players across the board that do their jobs well. They're above average in pass pro. They do have the propensity on some of the dropbacks because they don't pass often. When they are passing, it's in those more obvious passing situations that can tend to cause that sack ratio to get a little bit out of whack. But they just do a really good job of pushing guys off the line. Really good ball get off, and it's going to be a long day for that that defensive line, they're going to have to work the whole game, man. It's going to be a struggle.
Yep.
Bravos, don't fuck this up. Sorry.
Oh man, 5-2 now, bottom five. And maybe the one big upside, and some people I heard or I saw somewhere, if it was a tweet or maybe in conversations with someone, they're like, well, this is like what Notre Dame did, but souped up. The difference is, though, we did not go into the Notre Dame game prepared for it. If he came in, it was like, okay, if he comes in, it's going to be a play. At least with this, we have that prep time. And Brian, we absolutely need to prep time because Sean Tucker, the 5'10", 200-pound running back, I'm out of Townsend, Maryland, a 3-star. He is second in the country in rushing. He is at 948 yards. He's averaging over 6 a carry. He's 9th in touchdowns. He's got 9 already in 7 games. He's not a one trick pony either. 224 yards receiving on 14 catches with a couple touchdowns there. Much like Khalil Herbert was last year. He's top 5. He's number 2 in all-purpose yards.
Yep.
What are you seeing from Mr. Tucker on the tape?
The thing that jumps off immediately is that he runs hard through arm tackles. He has great vision and patience at the point of attack. But he does, when he gets to the second level, he is a big play threat. He's got second level speed. He's got home run speed. If he gets in the open field, he will make you pay. And he is deceptively good in the screen and short passing game. They run him a lot on kind of like those quick running back outs. They get the ball to him in the screen game, and he's just really good at turning up field, getting good yardage, making guys miss. And like I said, the big thing for him is that he is a home run threat. So it's not just a guy that we have to contain and make sure he doesn't, nickel and dime us, but we also got to stop him from banging the big play on us.
I hear you, Brian. And the thing that I kind of noticed about their offense is there's nobody behind him really. He is the horse.
Yep.
Right.
He is 1-1. He's not. There's not a A or B. There's not a true spell. This is his show.
So, it's key obviously to stop him. And when you hear all those things, especially that second level, I mean, that's what we're missing, right?
Yep.
We're missing the home run hitter like we had last year. And, it's really funny because every year it's like this. This is why football is one of the more amazing sports. A 3-star guy out of Maryland, we didn't recruit him. I don't think UVA recruited him. He had like 4 or 5 offers. He goes up to Syracuse, and now I'm sure with that skill set, Brian, he's probably already being looked at in the NFL because, again, with the scheme, with the pass catching ability, I mean, he's putting on tape. I don't know if he's a senior or junior. I did not look that far. I want to say you have that information up.
I thought he was a junior, but I'm not certain.
Give me a second here. I had everything up I needed earlier, and I completely took it down. There we go. Effort in here. I just want to see where he's at because I see a guy like this, and especially the kind of scheme they're running, I would not mind him in San Francisco. We're still efforting, folks. I'm going to get there eventually.
Freshman. Sorry.
He's a
second-year freshman.
Ouch. That hurts for him. You're not supposed to blow up your second-year freshman year. You're supposed to blow up your third year so you can get to the league. All right. So, but again, with the crossover being Atlantic, we're not going to probably see him again. All right, Brian. There is one more element to this rushing attack, and that is the Mississippi State transfer who is a 4-star out of Charlotte. 6'4", 230 pounds, Garrett Schrader. Passing stats, very pedestrian. Obviously, we've already said that's not what they're going to do. Only completing 53% of his passes for 810 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But, buddy, can he run the ball? 400-plus yards, averaging over 5 a carry, 9 touchdowns. What are you seeing from this big athletic guy who transferred from Mississippi State in 2020? Why didn't we
Well, I guess if we're talking Mississippi State transfers, Syracuse got the better of that against UVA, right?
That's true. That's very true.
And that's no disrespect to their football player. Uh, but yeah, in terms of actually on the field production, Garrett Schrader's getting it done for them. He's an absolute legit rushing threat in that offense. Can run past you and occasionally run over you. He will put a shoulder into you and kind of plow forward for that first down. Adequate arm strength. He's not slinging it deep. Accuracy is very average, but he does just enough to complement the rushing attack. But what he really is great at is that read option. He's got a knack for when to keep it. When he keeps it, he takes it upfield, gets good yardage in the run game. So he really has a good feel for that, and that's what's been able to keep this thing moving because, even when you do stack the box, there's still, because there's that element there, it's hard to really get a good feel for it on defense.
All right, so what are they like? I mean, you mentioned read option. I mean, is it just strict read option? He's going the opposite way. Are they running any inverted veers, any leads, any powers with him?
It's a little bit of everything, not so much the inverted veer, but a little bit of everything else.
Okay.
But it's primarily the read option. That's their bread and butter.
Okay. So they're not doing a lot of other stuff. They're essentially and why would you with a guy like Tucker?
It's in the playbook. Like other stuff is in the playbook, but it's more of it's dialed up at specific times. It's not something that they're calling every drive.
Just from looking at how they're calling their games, I guess because of the gelled offensive line and two threats like that, the lack of a passing attack really doesn't hurt them that much.
It doesn't hurt them too much. It only hurts them when you can do a good job on first and second down and get them off schedule. Like I said, they don't really pass the ball unless they have to. It's not quite Georgia Tech levels of we're only slinging the ball on, 3rd and 10 when we're down a touchdown or more. It's not quite that level, but it is. They're not going to put the ball. It's either it's going to be if they're going to put the ball in a receiver's hand and it's not in a 3rd and long situation, it's in the short passing game, usually to Sean Tucker.
Yep. Because you've already mentioned it. Their wide receivers have not done much. I would say keep an eye out for Courtney Jackson. Definitely their leading wide receiver. But also watch out for this name. A big guy, wide receiver, 6'6", Damian Alford. He's only got about 12 catches, but he's averaging over 20. Excuse me, he only has about 7 catches. He's averaging over 20 a catch, though. So that big guy, they potentially just chuck it up to downfield. But like you said, Tucker, with what he does, he is essentially I think he is actually leading the team, which is kind of, if you're a Syracuse fan, that's kind of a little bit sad, right? Like the running back leading our team in passing, catching. He's leading the team in pass catching. So for us, we're not going in any more offensive players. Disrupt their line, stop these two guys, we win this football game.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, and
because nothing scares me about 3rd and long, them dropping back and having to get it into a wide receiver consistently.
Yep,
nothing about that scares me.
In every game they've lost this year, or the three ACC games they've lost has all been 3 points. They lost to Rutgers by 10. So it's not like the losses are, they lost to FSU, they lost to Clemson, they're getting their doors blown off. No, they easily could have won those games as they did lose them. So that's kind of the worry part. And the other worry part, let's flip it over, Brian. Their defense is good. I mean, Tony White's defense, he's a Rocky Long disciple. If you're watching San Diego State in some of the late games this year, always a grind fest. What type of defense is he running here, Brian?
That good old 3-3-5 stack, baby.
Golly, have we not seen that? Let's think.
We've seen that as either a base or as a multiple front of like 3 defenses so far.
Exactly, 3 defenses so far. I'm trying to think. It would have been Notre Dame, West Virginia, and now.
Yeah,
3-3.
Notre Dame and West Virginia both have 3-3 as one of their fronts that they will show.
All right.
This is the first true 3-3-5 base, where you're going to see that look pretty much every snap, in some way, shape, or form. And the big guy up front that you got to watch out for is Cody Roscoe. He is the defensive end. He is an absolute disruptor in the run game. Gets really good penetration. Loves to time the snap count and just kind of blow up an offensive play. He's also an elite pass rusher from that kind of that 3-man front DN position. Does a really good job of impacting the game from there. And he absolutely must be neutralized for any sustained success in the ground game. Whether you run at him or away from him, he does a good job of making plays and getting to the football.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make me feel good. But I tell you what kind of crazy is his backstory, Brian. Roscoe's from Houston, Texas. He came out as a 2-star. Now listen to this. He came out as a 2-star inside linebacker when he came out. I kid you not. He originally went to McNeese State. And then with COVID happening to McNeese State, that division essentially canceling, he transferred over to Syracuse in 2020. And he's 6'1", he's 275. So he's even, you think 3 technique, even a little bit undersized for a 3 technique. But obviously the way you mentioned the get off the ball, I mean, he's killing it. He's got 33 tackles. He's got 7.5 sacks and 10 tackles for loss. So he's getting a sack a game. Is he primarily on the left or the right side of the offensive line when he lines up?
He's primarily lining up on the offense's left.
All right, so he will go against one of our better guys analytically.
Yeah, at least we are going somewhat big on big in that situation.
All right. Yeah, but he's not the only problem, Brian. The next two to look at is we're going to take a look at Stephen Thompson, Malik Jones. Jones, 6'1", 220, 64 tackles, 1 sack, 5.5 tackles for loss. Had 4 interceptions last year, so definitely has some ball skills there. He comes from IMG as a 3-star. To me, you don't play at IMG as a 3-star, so probably somebody missed an eval on him. Thompson, 6'1", 235, 43 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. His numbers are already starting to look significantly better than his 2020 year. He's out of Charlotte, 3-star guy. What are you seeing out of this duo? Who's the Mike, who's the Will, and what do they bring to the table?
So you got a 3-backer set, and both of these guys are the outside guys. So this is the Will and the Sam for Jones and Thompson, respectively. They're the primary blitzers from the linebacker position. So, they usually bring the 3-man front and usually an extra guy most downs. Sometimes that's the Mike, but usually it's going to be Sam or Will. They both do a really good job blitzing in the run and the pass. And they do a good job remaining under control when they're coming downhill in those run blitzes. And I think that's important because a lot of times some of those guys come out of control. They end up making the hole wider than it needs to be, and you get a big alley up the gut. They don't do that. They're pretty sound in that. And neither are liabilities in coverage. They're actually pretty good. They primarily cover the tight end or running back in coverage responsibilities. They'll have different areas of the field in zone, but they do a good job in both of those techniques, and you got to account for them every snap. And the only upside is that coming from second level, unless they time it different, you can at least see where they're coming from. But the big problem is that you don't know which one's coming at you at any given snap.
All right. Well, obviously a good duo there on the outside, obviously making noise, making numbers. I think what worries me, what I would say would worry me would be the running back and the tight end stuff. But how we've called our offense the last few weeks, there's really no concern there for it because we aren't putting that in the playbook.
We're not throwing to our tight ends, our H-backs, or our running backs with any degree of consistency the last few weeks. It seems like as soon as we lost James Mitchell, those elements of the offense kind of went bye-bye, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
The H-back being like a linchpin of the Fuente offense, and now it's, we get one injury and we can completely move away from it. I don't know if that's lack of trust in the guys that we still have there, or if it's just designed.
Ineptitude. It is ineptitude. Because we talked about it when James went down, right? Although they weren't perfect, they're not James. James is an elite talent. Yep. Gallo and Drake have their good qualities, and we're not seeing it. They're using Gallo exactly like they used him when James Mitchell was on the field. They've taken advantage like one time of Drake's athleticism. So it's ineptitude. They don't. Like, as soon as you take something off the table for this offensive staff, it's like, what do we do? What do we do? We don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my fingers. I don't know what to do.
Well, I think the bad part is that they did finally go to Gallo. He had that drop, I think, on a third down against last week, and then as soon as that happened, they're like, all right, well, you're back in the doghouse. Like,
go block.
Give these guys some confidence. Like, trust that they're going to make some plays. I mean, right now, they're not playing with confidence, and you're not doing anything to help them gain confidence.
All right. So as good as they have, really solid players at the first and second levels, even though this guy's not leading the team in interceptions, even though he has some good stats, but Garrett Williams, 6'1", 190, defensive back, 32 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 0 interceptions. The guy's got 6 pass deflections already this year. He's out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. He was a 3-star when he came out. What are you seeing from Williams? Is he making these numbers because he's like a nickel, or is he playing on the outside?
He's playing on the outside. He's actually their lockdown guy.
Okay.
So he doesn't get targeted a ton. He doesn't have the stats because they're not throwing at him a ton. They're not testing him a ton. And when they do, he's getting in there and breaking things up. They tend to put him on whoever the deep threat is for the offense. And while he has given up a couple deep balls, he gave up one against Wake Forest in particular that I remember, which I know that is a unique way of how they go deep in that offense. So that's a little different, but has given up a couple big plays, but has also came in there and broken up some really key plays as well that stopped the other offense from getting touchdowns. So he's going to be the guy to watch. He's the guy that, could potentially cause Trey Turner to have a long day.
Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And just, again, Syracuse was looked at potentially the laughingstock of the ACC. We both picked that we'd win this game. I think we might be, y'all about made a boo-boo there. But, they're top 10 in sacks. They're top 20 total defense. They're only giving up 114 rushing yards a game. So they are a good defense. They're 3-4, but, the defense is definitely not the reason. And the way the offense plays, Brian, let's flip it over to the Ada version of the Hokies. Can the offense just do something? Anything? Can they?
Anything.
Anything. It's don't look apathetic. Don't look
competent for at least 3 quarters.
And that's where it's just like it's so tough to see it because there's so much bad going on, right?
Yep.
So much bad going on that, like you've always talked about, keep things simple, do things simple. And that's and they're trying even lower than that. To me, some of the stuff they're running is like, I don't want to say peewee football, but it's definitely middle or high school football. Like, we're going to do this and this and this. And you're sitting here like, the guys over there in that booth are getting paid $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, some more to stop this. Do you not think they're going to see it?
Yep.
Do you not think they're going to see what you're doing? So, sorry for the rant. I know you said there were 2 other big keys for you.
Yeah, the 2 other keys are going to be keep time of possession even.
Oh
As
yeah.
much as they run the football, if we can keep time of possession even, that probably bodes well for the outcome of the game for us. And the last thing is, and this has kind of been a weekly theme since what, Middle Tennessee?
Um,
Since West Virginia.
West Virginia. Because Middle Tennessee, you hated what they did, that they didn't try to get him comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, since West Virginia, get Braxton Burmeister comfortable early. Give him easy throws. Give him throws he's comfortable with. Get him in a groove so that when you do start adding in those intermediate and deeper routes into the offense, as the plays go along, as the series go along, he's throwing those with confidence. The receivers have confidence in him. They're making plays for him. It kind of feeds off of each other. Right now, we don't have any confidence on that offense. They're like afraid to make mistakes, and because they're afraid to make mistakes, they're not making plays.
It's true. And they're afraid to make mistakes. They're not being put in good positions. There's no aggressiveness. It's almost like someone thinks it's a COVID year again. And well, this year doesn't matter. Because we've heard those stories, right?
Yeah, we're not dealing with that this year, guys.
No, we're not dealing with that at all this year. All right, let me ask this, Brian. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball real quick. And I told you this was my thought. I think we have to those bud elements in this defense we see, I think they have to be in full force for this game. I think even early, I know you mentioned to me we should look at some cover threes. I think early, cover one, cover zeros, press, man, load the line. Essentially, if they beat you,
Bear. What Bear?
I mean, go Bear. Do not let them get this running game going. If you want, if they take shots and they hit 3 big shots and they beat us, so be it. Do not let their strength beat you by trying to go off kilter.
The next thing we need to do is tackling must be what it was against UNC and not what we've seen up and down since West Virginia. We got to tackle well. We definitely can't tackle like we did last week. We absolutely cannot tackle like we did against Notre Dame or West Virginia. And the last thing, man, we gotta force turnovers because I think we're gonna need some good field position to generate some points against this defense. So turnovers are gonna have to be there. I don't know. We haven't really gotten a status on Waller yet, whether he's gonna be go or not. So
very concerning there. Although with their defense, as long as they don't get to the outside, especially against Dorian, since he still a little undersized there, that's okay to me. Like if Waller's not here, this isn't the week that they're going 3 wide. They're not going to be throwing it all over the place on us. But
I'm more thinking from a ball hawk standpoint. If they're going to throw the ball up, I want Jermaine Waller out there to grab it.
I got you. You're going for that. Well, I mean, the other part of the defense is I think we've got to have a special teams touchdown in some way, shape, or form. And I think to what you said, that turnover, it's got to happen. It's got to happen deep in their territory. Because I can't see this offense driving the ball more, maybe twice on this defense.
Yeah.
Maybe twice. So, I mean – yeah, there's a lot of things that have to go our way this week. And this is against a 3-4 team. This isn't against a 1-loss team. This isn't against a 5-2 team. This is against a 3-4 team, and this is how we're talking.
Yeah, we're playing tight against a team that at the beginning of the year we thought was, a book at W.
Yes, we did.
And credit to them, and then discredit to us selling them short. Or at least us having more confidence in what we thought this product was going to be at the start of the year.
That's exactly what it is.
So we'll take the L on that one. Lies were told.
We told them. We told them we saw something that wasn't there, and we got sold a bill of goods that weren't good. So let's sell the bill of goods for this week, Brian. Let's get the predictions out here.
You,
And
you
I'm
gonna
gonna lead
lead?
off. I'm gonna lead off. All right.
All right, go for it.
I think the Hokies are actually going to win this game. I think if you are sitting on your couch or in a bar, whatever you like to drink, keep the bottle near you or the six-pack near you because you're going to need a lot of it to stomach this one. I think we win 21-20. I do think we get at least one defensive or special teams touchdown, and I think we get one additional defense sets up the offense for the win.
Okay.
21-20, and I do think Cam will be ready for this rushing attack, even though it's been kind of our weakness. At least it's something we have prepped for this week.
It's something you prep for, and you don't have the passing element to really, scare you here. It's very much a, you can focus on the rush, take away the rush, and more than likely you're going to be okay on the back end.
Yeah.
I'm not as confident as you in the outcome, though.
Hold on. I got a 1-point win. My confidence isn't like
I've got a 4-point loss. I've got a 24-20 Syracuse victory. It's totally on the distrust of the offense and not having confidence that they can score more than 2 touchdowns. I think that's just where I'm at this point, unfortunately. I think the defense does enough and gives the offense some chances there, but they don't take advantage of enough of them. And
like last week.
Yeah,
like last
exactly
week.
last week.
First 2 drives of the game. Stand, nearly a block punt, 50-yard line, 2 yards.
Yeah.
And
the defense kept that game as close as it could for the first half, and the offense decided, we're
not going to do anything.
Nothing yet.
And I don't think it's the players. I think the players are giving full effort out there. I think it is the coaching staff completely. And we've already had this conversation. I think if you put guys like Trey Turner, Tay Robinson, some of the running backs, I know we haven't looked good. But if you're putting everybody in a bad position, like I'm sure you're sitting here, Brian, and this is probably Brian's brain. James Mitchell goes out. You've been using Raheem Blackshear as primarily a running back. All right, Screw it. James is gone. Change your offense. Put him somewhere where he can be dynamic. Nope, we're not going to let him be dynamic. We're going to let him be right here. And I feel for that kid because I think he was sold a bad bill of goods. Like, come here, we're going to use you, and you're going to get all these touches. And in reality, now you're
just a fired Rutgers regime got more out of Raheem Blackshear than we have in 2 seasons. Well, a season and a half.
Is he eligible next year?
I think so.
All right. Maybe we get a new staff in here we could discuss. All right, Brian, let's flip it. Let's talk about some other games we'll be watching on Saturday. First of all, let's go year to date. We already discussed it Sunday. You went 5-5 last week. I went 7-3. I'm at 40-32. You were at 35 and 37. Have you done any different analytical scouting this week, or got any?
I'm making a comeback this week, man.
Making a comeback.
This is my week to make some moves. I'm going at least 7-3 this week.
All right, at least 7-3. So he's going to probably pick against me at least 6 times tonight. Everybody, go ahead and write that down. All right, let's start. Army and Wake. Wake laying 3 points in this game, Brian. This game is going to be one of the 12:30 early kicks for the ACC. And what's the moment here? It is actually going to be at West Point, so up in New York. Army's 4-2. Going to be on CBS Sports Network. What do you think about this one, Brian? You've got the kind of new age offense versus the old school offense.
Yeah, I think I like Wake to cover this. I think Wake's going to take care of business. I just think that some of the things they do on that offense is going to cause some problems for Army. I think Wake's defense is going to be good enough to kind of slow that attack down, that rushing attack down. But again, it's at home. Army probably lengthens that game or shortens that game, I should say, to the point where Wake's got to be pretty perfect. But I still like Wake to close it out.
Yeah, I am with you on that. I'm not like doing this just to spite you. So you know, I'm with you. I also think with Wake, it's their defense. They're not full of athletes. They're full of good, sound, disciplined football players, right? When you're going against Army, what do you need? Good, sound, disciplined football players who know where the ball's going. A lot of people, you know, scream for years, why did Bud's defense struggle so much with Georgia Tech? Because it was athletes who attacked. You can't attack the triple option. You can't attack the wing option, whatever you want to call it. So I think Wake wins like by 10. I think whenever Wake gets the ball, they score. And I think they'll get 4 to 5 possessions, something like 31-21 is what I'm feeling on this one. All right, Brian. The next one here is UMass versus FSU. It's a 12 o'clock kick. The over-under is 60. The line is FSU laying 35.5. I know UMass is 1-5, and I know UMass has lost some games, but they have only had 2 games. They've had 3 games of their 6 that were over 35.5. I can't trust FSU. I know they're playing better. I just think 35.5 is just way, way too much to lay. I will take UMass and the points.
Not so fast, my friend. Give me FSU. This is where I make up some gap here. This is where I close the gap. This is where FSU doesn't screw me for once, hopefully. So I'll take FSU and the points. I'll lay those points, and I think we'll see what they do. They have been playing better. The next one is going to be the head scratcher, right?
Oh, the next one is just going to be. I'm literally might sit here and flip a coin to decide this one. The next one is the Clemson and the Pitt game. This is going to be 3:30 kick. It's at Pitt. Pitt, for the first time, I think they said in 5 years, the Louisville game down at Death Valley against Lamar. Clemson is not favored in an ACC game. Pitt laying 3. What say you, Brian?
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking Kenny fucking Pickett, Pat Narduzzi, and the Pitt Panthers over Clemson. I just don't. Clemson's offense has not, and specifically DJ, has not shown me that he's playing with enough confidence in what he's doing offensively to put up enough points against Pitt. And I think Pitt will be able to put up somewhere in the mid to upper 20s against that Clemson defense. Because what they do kind of plays into the small weaknesses that the Clemson defense does have. So I think they will be able to get a few touchdowns, maybe a field goal or 2. And I think they pull it out. So I think they cover that 3.
I'm going to go not so fast, my friend. It's Pitt. There's always games where Pitt just craps the bed, right? When they shouldn't crap the bed. They've already done it once this year against Western Michigan. And to me, Clemson's got too much talent there to not eventually get out of this offensive rut. We know DJ's a good quarterback. We saw that last year.
Yep.
But the thing that I think everyone didn't think about was not so much him, and I know he's struggling, but I think there's some other elements struggling there. Pitt doesn't have the best defense. They held us to 7. But if you saw in that game, there were numerous times where we had really good opportunities to potentially score, and we just crapped the bed. I'll take the 3, and I think Clemson pulls it. I think Clemson pulls the upset and makes all things right in the world. of ACC football.
That's a weird time to say Clemson pulls the upset in any ACC matchup, let
In the
alone
ACC. It's true, man. It's very, very
against
true.
Pitt.
All right. Next game, BC Louisville. Louisville at 3-3, Boston College at 4-2. Louisville is laying 6.5 points. Louisville's last game, they lost by a point to UVA. Essentially, they missed a field goal, right?
Yep.
And Boston College coming off a pretty bad loss to NC State. So, I sit on this one, Brian, and it's home field worth 6.5. Is Louisville that good? I've seen Louisville's offense score some. I've seen their defense give up a lot. BC just had to play probably maybe one of the better defenses, not only in conference, but probably, in top 20 of the country. I'm going to take BC. Give me the 6.5. I'm going to take them to cover this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna take BC as well here. I think it's a bounce back week for them. I think NC State is better than we think. I think they're probably one of the 3 best teams in the ACC right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll take BC here. Hard to trust Louisville to close out a game, and 6.5 is probably just enough where I feel comfortable there.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's jump out of the ACC, Brian, and let's head down to the Alabama-Tennessee game. 3rd Saturday in October. It's always been like that. It's one of the great traditions in college football. And trying to look up here, have you seen any news on Hendon Hooker tonight? Is he cleared after getting kind of mauled at the end of the other game?
I have not seen. Let me check real quick.
Same here. Efforting.
Optimistic outlook. Day to day. So I mean, he could go.
All right. Well, either way, it's in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's laying 25.5 points. I even think with Hendon Hooker, obviously Tennessee's defense will give up points. The whole question is how much do they give up early? How quick does Nick let the gas off? If it was a guaranteed, I knew Hendon was playing, I would probably take Tennessee with the points. With him not playing, we saw how Joe Milton looked, especially how many overthrown passes were playing Pitt.
Oh dude. Man, in the first half it was 4 bad ones. It was 4 bad ones and probably another one that was questionable. But he had one where it was just it was a slaughter, a tight end just streaking up the seam and just airmailed it by about 8 yards. It wasn't even close.
So, yeah, I'm taking Bama. I will lay the 25.5 points. Whether it be an injured Hooker or Milton, I don't think they stay close.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I think it is. I think that line is about right, but I feel like it's going to be about a 4-score game. So give me Bama. Whether it's a banged up Hooker or whether it's more or less you like
banged
that
up Hooker.
Whether it's a banged up Hooker or a Milton that likes to sail the ball, I think that's not going to bode well for them.
All right, let's go down to the Big 12, where very interesting game. Top 10, Oklahoma State, who's number 8 at 6-0, coming off a big comeback win over Texas last week, goes up to Iowa State, up to Ames. It'll be a 3:30 kick. Iowa State 4-2. Iowa State, pretty big number here, is a 7-point favorite against Okie State. What do you think on this one, Brian?
Yeah, I'm taking Okie State all the way. I don't think there's a letdown game after the win last week. I think they go out and handle their business, kind of assert themselves as one of the teams to watch in that conference going forward. So I'll take Okie State here.
And I'm with you on this. And it's not so much that, I don't like Iowa State. It's that Okie State's playing a really good defense. This isn't your normal Mike Gundy team where they're running and gunning and beating teams, 45-42. Every game this year, 16 points against Missouri State, 23 against Tulsa, 20 against Boise, 20 against Kansas State, 14 against Baylor, and 24 last week against Texas. You start doing that math, I mean, they're basically giving up right at 19, 20 points a game. And, Iowa State, Matt Campbell, if you ask me tomorrow, would I take him here? Probably. His recruiting has never been that good, but I think he's a good football coach. But I'm with you, Brian. I've got to take Okie State because I think defense travels. I think that is going to be a heck of a game to watch if you like 27-24 games.
Yep.
And I know some people don't. That's just like too much defense, but I think it's going to be a good old-fashioned slugfest there. All right, Brian, the battle for the jeweled shillelagh. USC, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the favorite here, laying 7 points. And this is the very, very rare USC Notre Dame 7:30 kick in South Bend.
Very rare.
Very rare. USC 3-3, essentially waiting for James Franklin to come take over the program. Last time they were out, they got their doors blown off by Utah. And it's kind of been that way just about every other week for them. They got their doors blown off by Oregon State. They got the doors blown off by Stanford. And honestly, I don't think Notre Dame has the horsepower to blow the doors off, but I think Notre Dame has the horsepower to win by more than 7 points. Give me the Irish with the Freeman defense shutting them down. 28-17 Irish.
Okay. I'm actually right there with you. I think this is a good matchup for Notre Dame, and I think they go out there and handle their business on defense. I think it is a somewhat low-scoring game. I think it's in the kind of 28-20, 28-17, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. It'll probably be an entertaining game to watch. And I don't actually, let me look at some with the night slate here. It actually might be maybe the most entertaining game in the night slate to watch at 7:30. Georgia Tech, Virginia, NC State, Miami, Ohio State, Indiana. I want to watch that. Shane's playing the Aggies. 21-point line on that. That's a pretty big line for there. Yeah. So, yeah, that might be. There is no Pac-12 after dark this week. There is early Sunday morning WAC action if you want to look at Hawaii there. So, if you're really a degenerate and want to stay up till 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Hawaii, New Mexico. Hawaii's laying 18. There is one more West Coast game, Brian, we got to jump on here tonight, and that is going to be where game day is.
Yep.
Feeling like the game day of old, going to an important, even though it's not the top matchup of the weekend, a important matchup for the Pac-12 with Oregon and UCLA, a 3:30, so a 12:30 West Coast kick down in the Rose Bowl. Number 10 Oregon is essentially a 2-point dog here. What do you think on this game, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going Oregon here. I think what UCLA has done is impressive, but I think Oregon just has a little bit more in the tank. They're going to be able to finish them off late, and I think they pull a pretty narrow win out, maybe a touchdown or less, but definitely covers that too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Oregon's too good a team to not take points. Sometimes it's just like a principled play, right? Like UCLA is a good story. Yes, they're a home team and they're a favorite, but it's 2 points. They're literally saying the Rose Bowl and Oregon traveling from Eugene to LA is the difference in this game. Yep. It's not the difference in this game. Oregon is the more talented team. So I'm definitely with you on that. All right, Brian, anything breaking in the last little while here?
Nothing I see, man. Nothing I see. Oh, did we miss two pick'ems?
No, that's
10. Did we do Miami and NC State?
Oh man, I forgot to put that one on here tonight. I think you know what I tell you? I erased that. I did. I missed two pick'ems. Jesus Christ. The show is not over yet, folks. It's been a long day. Miami, NC State, Brian. NC State laying 3 points. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Legal limit NC State is going to not only cover the 3 points, NC State is going to win by 17.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's a legal limit bet. NC State, whatever you got in your wallet, go for it.
Go for it. Exactly.
I think you're not going to quite see as much offensive output as Miami had last week. I think that was more of a one-off than it was a new
That's
trend.
North Carolina. The only person that can't scheme on North Carolina is the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yep. And we still won the game, but damn, it was a tough one.
It was a tough one that should have been like 34-10 the way our defense played that night. And that game is the 7:30 kick down at Hard Rock Stadium with the wonderful 8,000 fans that will show up.
There we go.
All right. Now, Virginia, Georgia Tech up at UVA. It's the 31st anniversary of when UVA was #1 game. The year Coach Bobby Ross took his Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to the national championship. For anyone living in Richmond, if you've never met Bobby Ross and talked to that man, just a treasure.
Great dude. Treasure. Great dude. Yeah. We got to hang out with him one night. He did a talk down at Cap Ale in the city. It was him and Michael Robinson.
It was.
Wes McElroy hosted that thing. It was a good time down there. Bobby shared some good stories. Got to talk to him afterwards for a little while. Good all around dude.
15 minutes of one-on-one with Bobby that night, man.
Yeah, I know you ran into him once at a gas station, right?
Went into him the first time at a gas station, and I saw him about a month ago. I cannot remember where I was, but I saw him. I said, "Hey, Coach Ross, how you doing?" And if you say hey to him, he will say hey to you back. So he's out here in the West End of Richmond. If you ever see him, if you recognize who he is, say hello. He will say hello back to you. A living treasure here. But his Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, that team's way too spastic. As much as pains me to say this, I think UVA is going to win this game by about 14. I think it feels like every game on the ACC slate this week is going to be very entertaining games.
Yeah.
Maybe with the exception of SFU, unless you take the 35.5 and just sitting there like I'm going to be doing, like, okay, we're going to cover it. So I'm taking UVA there. What do you think?
I'm taking Georgia Tech.
Oh, God.
And I'm hoping they don't screw me again, but I'm taking Georgia Tech. I think they keep it close. I think it's very similar to that UVA Louisville game. I think it's going to come down to something at the end of the game that's going to kind of decide it there. I don't think it's going to quite be more than the 7 that we're laying here. So let me get Georgia Tech there for that one. Close it out with that one. Yeah.
Wow. Are they going to win it?
Shit. Why not?
Oh, outright win.
Yellow Jackets outright win. Fuck UVA.
All right. Well, if nothing hasn't broken, then Curtis, who overlooked on our rundown sheet here, 2 games completely, because I'm watching the App State game and Coastal with the ball. Who's got the ball here? Somebody's inching closer and closer to a field goal line. And I think it's App State, 27-27.
Yeah, 2 minutes left.
Oh my God, they've got. Did you know the FSU? You see that? You got that game up? The FSU
Nah.
ball boy is now a defensive coordinator for Coastal Carolina.
Hey.
I kid you not. All right. Well, if we've got nothing else, that is going to wrap up this episode of the Boundary Corner podcast. I am Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Visit our website, boundarycornerbt.com, to listen to all of our episodes. While you are there, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to our account on YouTube and your favorite podcast source, including Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcast. As always, we let our buddy Jason Long play us in, play us out. Catch him on Spotify and Apple Music. We thank you for listening, and let's go!
Hokies!